few things I wanted to cover, and one of them is staying cool and sane when it's hot. So when you're driving, man, I'm kidding not. It's just a way to stay awake. You know, just, your arms. Try it, man. Try it. Margot made it here. That was great, without any untoward incidents and no imperial entanglements or anything else. And has been able to hang out in Sister Sue's trailer for a while. Oh, and be praying for her. She's going to go look at a trailer tomorrow. It's nearby because she's got to find something to get out of Sue's trailer because Sue's going to be here pretty dang soon. And pray for Shannon for traveling mercies and Sue, on the way back because he's going out to help her. So same thing, no imperial entanglements, safe travel, angels protecting them, the whole 9 yards. Seriously, be praying for him because that's huge. I said a little while ago that here's your x-axis, here's your y-axis. Is that right? Nope. Here's your x. I don't know which way you're looking at, but yeah, okay. From my point of view, it would be that way. But you know what I'm saying. Here, flight shooter. X, Y. Okay. And a regular slope would go up like 8 inches per mile. When on a video one time, a physicist corrected this flat Earth guy and said, "Well, the curvature is 8 inches per mile." Well, that would be a straight line. That means the Earth is a pyramid. If it's a globe, it's 8 inches per mile squared. So, in other words, it changes with every mile. It changes more drastically. So, anyway, point being is, I'm saying that this isn't just. It's not going to be a gradual growth. Okay. Margot got here with her resources. Sue gets here with some of her resources. And they start multiplying and more people getting together. The synergy, the synchronicities are going to dramatically increase. It's going to go geometric, going to go astronomical. So please, if you can help out, we have to develop an association, an association that's cooperatively helping each other. Margot got here seriously bummed out, lost her $400 or $500 glasses. I won't even look up scleral, S-C-L-E-R-A-L. Her whole life has been one of excruciating pain and just living with it, dealing with it, smiling, being pleasant, being cheerful. She's extremely funny. Doesn't feel sorry for herself. She'll tell me how horrifically painful it is. And the stuff she's gone through, like $10,000. She said for anyone that does not have eye problems, they just be so thankful, so blessed, but thankful for being blessed. Without these lenses, she would, in essence, be blind. So they're really large. They're very, very difficult. They're very delicate. They're very hard to put in, take out. Has to have good lighting. Has to have clean facility. Can't live in a rat-infested, cockroach-crawling, rat and mouse hotel. So, anyway, I found my little baby, my jetpack. Now I can run my the computer. All right, so anyway, cooperative assistance would be appreciated. And along that line, I've pitched the idea before of, kind of similar, but pay it forward, insurance, assurance. The Amish, in some areas of the country, there's a guy that goes around to all of the communities and collects basically $30,000 every month. There's a goal. Everybody collects this much money in this community. They got 100 communities maybe, and they all pitch in $300. You know, boom, there's $30,000 or whatever the math is there, and they can buy 30 acres every month with that. You know, buy another farm every month, buy a farm every month, buy a farm. Why aren't we doing that? You know, it's like Leonard Ravenhill said, why did Hugo go out of Mongolia? Because he had a vision. You know, why did Henry Martin go to India? Because he had a vision. Why did Robert Murray McCheyne go to Israel and preach the gospel? Because he had a vision. Why did Hudson Taylor go to China? Because he had a vision. You know, why don't you do anything? Because you have a vision. Television. I don't know. People waste a lot of time. Fact, you know, whether it's video games or just doing stupid stuff. And I'm realizing a lot of people that are listening to me are not. You know, you're working. A lot of you are working just about all you're doing. Again, that's the problem, because we're just over broke. You know, if you got a job, you're just over broke, and everybody realizes that. We've been manipulated and brainwashed and entrapped. The high price of free corn. Okay. Lesson? Nope. Almost looked like a tick. I was going to show it to you. I weed whacked for a couple hours yesterday. Not a tick. Well, I did have one, but it didn't get me. I got it. All right. So anyway, eat spices, eat sulfur. You know, garlic, onions, cayenne, hot stuff. I don't know. I haven't had a problem with a tick for like 2 or 3 years. Chiggers, I haven't had a chigger one. So, not that I sit around outside. I hear it. Okay, so moving right along. One thing, while I was at Bass Pro, and I almost did a video on it, and then I started realizing I was really running out of memory quick. Not memory, but battery. So I should have had some kind of backup. Next time I won't take everything with me. So my point is, and I wanted to deal with this. I've pitched the idea before, or at least I presented the idea, the concept of Michael Peebles at a Kingdom community meeting. Pitched the idea, he made the statement that every single farm out here should have 10 to 50 people that have stuff stored on their property. And he says, is that a risk? Yeah, it's a risk for us, it's a risk for you. But it's insurance. Like I just had told the idea earlier that, you know, I went ahead and got full coverage on the van. It's not paid for. If I wreck it, I'm gonna be hurting. I'm gonna have no way to grow anywhere, and I'm not gonna have any way to replace it. So it was really stupid not to have it covered from the start. I've been just very careful. I mean, I don't drive much, but that doesn't mean anything. You know, a deer can. You know, I know people that, man, the trees just jump out in front of them. You know, but you know, deer do that sometimes too. Some people, the trees are the culprit. But you know, things can happen, and so anyway, I got full coverage, and that's going to be a lot more expensive and hard to keep up with. But like I said, 20 years coverage, really, for the amount you spend in 1 year. The difference, you know, gives you 20 years worth of protection. So the idea that, okay, you got a 55-gallon drum, or you got you know, if you've got the money and you get a mini cabin, you can have one delivered. They're free delivery. Some of them are very little down, a couple hundred down, a couple hundred a month. So you stock it, you put a really good lock on it, you know, and it's on a farm. I mean, nobody ever, like I said, we leave our keys in the car, in the ignition, most of the time, over where you know, Cedar County where I lived. And that's maybe not the greatest idea in the world, but Bill, they never lock, you know, well, the idea, here's the thing is, okay, you lock the door if someone wants in. If they're going to break in and you're not home, they're going to kick the door in, or they're going to break the window. Why replace a door or window? Once they're in, you know. So, what's the point? You know, a camera, yep, that's a good idea. You know, game trail camera or a security camera. You know, then you know, and you can have those that, you know, bang, you know, you can be in. We were in Dora, Colorado. Oh man, going way back, you know. Dora, Missouri, you know, and this guy's like, man, there's somebody in my backyard, and it was a friend of his, but you know, he didn't recognize the vehicle. So on your smartphone, you know, you can have your security system ding, 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 shows you what's going on. You got the picture, you know who it is, you know what they're doing, you know. And there's Cayenne defense systems. I mean, you know, capsicum, you know, they break in, it fogs the whole place with capsicum. They go out really quick because they can't, bam, they hit the wall, you know. So that's pretty cool. But the idea being that, you know, if I'm just putting this out there, you know, for those of you who are in the situation where, and it would be, you know, if you know you want to get out here, if you want to ship stuff, you know, some people have done that, you know, ship stuff out ahead of time, save money, you know, so you don't have to haul as much in the truck. It could be bulk because of bulk, like your 15, 20 cases of toilet paper, you know, like get an 8-ounce squirt bottle, much better, much more intelligent. Laboratory wash bottle, it's worth 1,000 cases of toilet paper. But or heavy, or you know, whatever. Ship it ahead of time. You know, don't be dragging it around if it's heavy or bulky or you know whatever. But the other thing is, you know, a 55-gallon drum, an ammo can, whatever. You know, you want me to pick up something here? There's a barrel guy here that has really good barrels. Okay, this much for the barrel, and I want this much stuff in it: beans, rice, whatever, sleeping bag, you know, cot, army cot, whatever. An SKS, buy me an SKS and put it in there. Find me 1,000 rounds of ammo, put it in there. You know, whatever. Lock it up. You know, I've got these Mondo locks. I think I showed them to you one time, but they're really, really good, man. You can put them on anything, a garage, a van. So, anyway, that's you know just the idea of shipping things ahead of time, things that would need to be here. Now, like I said before, I've talked about you know things that you should have with you, perhaps when you're en route, and you know that T-post stepper, I think, as light as this is, you know, the card on them says cheaper than a pair of pants. Well, cheaper than getting shot at and being rushed to the hospital with ER with a sucking chest wound or a head wound or a gut shot, you know, and you're not going to make it. Triage, no, he's not going to make it. Don't bother wasting your time on him, you know, type thing. So don't plan on destroying people's property and cutting their fence. That can get you a SSS situation real quick. Shoot, shovel, and shut up. Because most farmers don't shoot, shovel, and shut up. They shovel, shoot, and shut up. The hole's already dug for you if you're going to cut their fence. Okay, they don't need to dig the hole. So, or they may have a hog farm. Read unintended consequences. Get a clue. If you're in Idaho and planning to do that, if you're coming through Idaho, this was told me by a nice young lady. She said, people are really polite there. They don't mess with your wife. They don't mess with your kids because there's too many mine shafts. And I was like, huh? You know, she said, there's too many mine shafts. And I went, what are you talking about? And she goes, there's too many places to put the bodies. And I'm like, oh, this is from me being, you know, I was already a survivalist or whatever. Yeah, that was an eye-opener. Quickly and safely step over T-post fencing. The original tool in stepping over T-post fencing. So one of them will do it. If it's a high fence, as in Chaparro's situation where they went over like an 8-foot fence, you have 2 of them. But I think that's, you know, you really only need one. And you could have 15 people go over. You only need 1 per patrol group or whatever. But 2 would be better. So avoid ripped clothing and costful, painful injuries. Now, other thing, painful injuries, what about, there you go, cheaper than a new pair of pants. Mark Turner, you know, he almost died, tetanus, or whatever, you know, he had a blood poisoning. Streak going up his leg, Lisa treated him, yeah. So, just a word to the wise, and if you're not wise, then, you know, I'm not talking to you, but that's just, them big Anatolian shepherds and Akbash and other types of dogs like that, they don't mess around. Like I said, some people have rebar, like cactus looking things, ladders stuck in their fields for people to climb up out of the dog's reach and The dog will keep them there till morning. They come out in the morning and decide whether the hole, that's already been dug gets used, or they get sent on down the highway. So, or they don't really need the hole because they've got a brush pile that needs already get burned, or the dogs need food, or their hogs need food, and being the situation as it is, they just make better use of the thing than leaving it to buzzards got to eat same as worms, Outlaw Josie Wills. Should we bury him? Nah. And it was quoted in Lights Out too, when Mark wanted to burn the bodies. Nah. Buzzards got to eat same as worms. 15 minutes, okay, that's it. Chop chop. Hope I didn't lose it. This is Jerry Diamond. If you listen to this, you're the remnant.